Hey FTM Transtastic viewers, for those of you in some major cities this week, happy Pride. I'm making this video on Thursday because by the time you watch this I will be in New York City for Pride. I will be going to the Trans March and the Drag March, which by the time you're watching this will have happened yesterday. And then on Sunday I'm going to the big parade or whatever, so should be a good time. I'm really looking forward to it. This week we are talking about the dominance of our man voice, or more generally I think kind of male privilege, and feminism, and like reevaluating privilege and your own access to space and things like that, or at least that's how I'm interpreting it. I actually made a video for like my personal channel on feminism, I think last semester. Ever since coming out as trans, I've really, taken a lot of care, I think, to try to make sure I'm aware of, aware of the space that I am given access to, and aware of privilege that I might gain, or I'm really aware of like contextual privilege, passing privilege, if you were. As you know, I am not on testosterone, and I have not had any sort of surgeries of any sort. But luckily, I was blessed with a relatively deep speaking voice for someone that did not go through a traditional male puberty. So regardless of the fact that I haven't really started my physical transition yet, I do get read as male most of the time. Even if it is significantly younger than I actually am, I do get read as male. And, that has afforded me a great deal of privilege in a lot of situations. And it's really interesting, to try to, it's really interesting to try to be aware of where, It's really interesting to remain aware of, my situation, and also be conscious and actively trying to combat male privilege where I receive it. I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm trying to be courteous. I think I say a lot of really big words for no reason other than that I know them. Pretty much what it comes down to is me trying to be courteous and aware of the fact that sometimes in certain situations when I am read as male, I gain privilege. I gain male privilege. And it's still something that I'm getting used to because, I come from a very, queer, very feminist background. I heavily identify as a feminist. It's trying to find a new role for myself within feminism, within, safe spaces, or safer spaces, and within feminist spaces, even within, just the regular world around me, because, I try to be aware of the privilege that I gain, and actively try to make sure that other people in the space, particularly women or other minority groups, have, I do not speak for them, that, I don't speak too much, that, my voice doesn't dominate over other people's voices, because that's the privilege that is typically afforded white men in this society. That doesn't mean that I can, give my privilege away, although it can be taken from me very quickly, which is, again, another sort of interesting phenomenon, but that's probably a different video for a different day. I think a big part of identifying as a trans guy, or F to M, or, female assigned, man with that was female assigned at birth, or anything like that, any sort of situation where someone assigned female at birth, either, permanently or contextually or whatever, gains male privilege. I think we really have to make a conscious effort to really analyze our own privilege and constantly be aware of the privilege that we are given, and making sure that we don't dominate conversations, especially, in safer spaces. That's what the rest of the world is for. And because there are so many other experiences out there, not that we don't have anything to say, but I think it's really easy for men to dominate conversations. My personal experience is that if people read me as male, they're much more willing to listen to me. They're much more willing to let me speak. They're much more, adamant in gaining my opinion over people read as female or female-identified people. And that's a problem with our society, and it's not something that any one person can fix, and it's not something that can be fixed overnight. But I think as trans guys, we're in a very unique situation, and that we should take more advantage of that and making all spaces somewhat safer and more welcoming of all sorts of identities and all sorts of voices. That was a lot of rambling. I said, I don't even remember what I said. I'm pretty sure I repeated myself 27 times and just said the same 4 big words over and over and over again. I apologize for that. That's kind of what my brain does. Just so many years of women's and gender studies conditioning have just every time this sort of topic comes up, I kind of revert into theory mode and just say all these words. So I apologize for that, but that's pretty much what I feel on the topic. If you want to see more of what I have to say about feminism, I'll link to the video down in the description bar, and you can let me know what you think of that, or what you think of this video in the comments, or message me, or whatever. Yeah, so thanks for watching. Again, happy Pride. Hope everyone is doing well. Bye.